Things that are important in a relationship. Number one, music taste, okay? I'ma just be real with y'all. If you like country music, this probably won't last very long. Because if we get in the car and I decide to play a song like Earthquake, which is extremely well known, and I'm in the car vibing like, "Is you make my earthquake?" and you sitting over there like this, I know right from there that this will not last. Number two, okay, we need to have a sense of humor that's somewhat compatible. Because I play way too much and I am way too sarcastic for you to be getting sensitive when I tell you to shut up. Because I know that I'm playing, but if we don't have the same sense of humor and understanding, then you're gonna get offended. Number three, okay, I'm sorry this one is for the girls, but I need y'all to be decisive. It's not that I can't make the decisions, it's just I want you to be clear with what it is that you want. If you need emotional support, tell me. If you want food, tell me. Don't just take my food because you hungry and didn't want to tell me you want food. Communicate with me. Thank you for your time. The differences between high school and college. Number one, you should know that college is actually 2 times easier than high school. The difference is that high school you have consistent work. In college, you may go a couple weeks with an assignment here, a paper here, nothing crazy, but then towards the end of the semester, you will get slammed. And by slammed, I mean they will all assign things at the exact same time. You'll have 3 papers, 2 presentations, and a project due all on the same day. And if you don't learn how to manage your time, I promise you won't survive. High school is a full-time job, but college is like a vacation with class. And let me give you a tip. I advise you to get all of your work done in the week, because when the weekend comes, you will be doing things. And by doing things, I mean you will be partying, you will be with your friends, and you will not, by any means, want to do work. Because if you don't, you'll end up like me, which is in the library on Sunday night for about 4 hours trying to catch up on everything I did not do. Thank you for your time. Let me just start this video off by saying dreams piss me off. First of all, why is it that all of the bad dreams last 8 hours and all of the good ones get interrupted? Because I can be having my worst nightmare and I have to go through that torture for 8 hours straight. And as soon as you have a good dream, that's when somebody has to wake you up. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot recall one time ever being woken up while I was having a bad dream. And it can never even be like an average dream. No, it has to be the dream where you are with your soulmate, doing things you like to do, and then your parents come in the room in the morning and say, "Hey, it's time for school." And it sucks because you go through that moment of, maybe if I go back to sleep, I could dream about it again. And you know it ain't gonna happen. And another thing, why are my dreams better than my life right now? And it's like torture, because how can you put me in a set of circumstances that is so perfect, and then you wake me up to deal with this again? And I hate how believable they are, because I can fall asleep in class for 4 seconds and somehow believe I'm falling to my death from a skyscraper. And then you wake up startled as hell thinking you were really going to die, and everybody's just looking at you like you stupid. Thank you for your time. Some of y'all may not get this, but these are just some things that I find funny. I think that people sometimes tend to forget that I am also a human being. And by that I mean when people notice who I am in person, the looks they give me are hilarious. Because, you know, they go through the whole realization of like, is that him? And I don't like to give away the fact that I am who I am, so I'll act like I don't see it. But it's so funny because they will stare at me for minutes trying to figure this out. I remember one time I was at the mall where I live getting shoes, and there was a kid standing next to me, and he started looking at me like this. And so I looked at him like, "Hey." And he was like, "You're that dude from TikTok." And I was like, "I am." And he was like, "What are you doing here?" "I live here." And he was astonished. He was like, "Oh my, like you live here? Like here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh my God." And look, I'm not complaining. I just thought it was funny. Thank you for your time. Alright men, let me help y'all decipher women's codes real quick. When there is a holiday coming up, say it's Valentine's Day or Christmas or her birthday, and she says, "No babe, it's fine, you don't have to get me anything," make sure that you get her something. Because you're gonna show up with no gifts and you're gonna give her a hug and you're gonna say, "Hey, happy birthday," and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, so what did you get me?" And then you're gonna use common sense and say, "Hey, I thought you said I didn't have to get you anything." And then here's where the intricate women part comes in, and they're like, "No, that means get me something." Another thing, when you know there's something wrong with your girl, make sure that you press her to get it out of her. Because they like to play this game to see how persistent you'll be. So you'll be like, "Hey babe, you alright?" And she'll be like, "I'm fine." It does not mean in any case that she's fine. It is your job to press her and be like, "I know something's up, we can talk, just tell me whatever's on your mind." Because they like that. And lastly, there's not much for me to say about this one, but just listen to your girl. Women like to know that they are being heard and appreciated. Thank you for your time. Let me spit some more facts real quick. Y'all ever be laying in bed and you just for some reason put your arm or your leg up and you don't know why you do it? It's just I want to do it for some reason. Another thing, y'all remember when your parents would ask you to go somewhere you know you ain't want to go? So whether it's like church or like the gym, and you know you be getting ready mad slow. You be taking like 10 minutes to put your left shoe on. Another thing, do y'all ever procrastinate from doing something productive so hard that you'll do other productive things just to not do that one? Like for instance, I'll have to do my homework and I'll not want to do it so bad that I'll just decide to clean my room. When I'm bored, I can find nothing to do, but when I have work to do, oh, there are thousands of things I could be doing right now. And I don't know about y'all, but the number one thing that made my room look like it was always dirty was the fact that I had 30 water bottles just sitting everywhere. And it's imperative that I have water in my room because I'll wake up in the middle of the night sometimes with the driest throat ever. And taking that sip of water rejuvenates me. Thank you for your time. Since it's getting cold outside, let me have a conversation with y'all real quick. Fellas, let me talk to y'all real quick, alright? If it's getting cold outside, you do not walk outside without putting lotion on and some type of chapstick. Just because it's cold outside does not give you an excuse to look crusty. And another thing, if it is under 40 degrees, there is absolutely no excuse for you to be wearing shorts. I've never understood that, and I don't even want to understand it because I'm not walking outside and giving myself hypothermia because y'all want to wear shorts. One thing that is frustrating is the fact that I can put on chapstick before I walk out of my dorm, but on my way to class, I haven't even gotten in there yet and my lips are already chapped. I've mentioned this before and I'm gonna mention it again. If it's cold outside and you see me not talking, that does not give you an invitation to start talking. I am cold, so that means I need a minute to warm up. And by warm up, I mean get inside and then talk. Thank you for your time. Let me just say, there are many different things I could spend my money on. I could spend my money on clothes, I could spend my money on shoes, I could spend my money on so many different things, but 90% of the time, I spend all of my money on the same thing. Food. Let me tell y'all something. Food is a trickster because you will go to Chick-fil-A and spend like $7. And you'll be like, oh, it's just $7, sorry. And then you'll keep going to Chick-fil-A, and before you know it, you'll be like, where did $80 go out of my account? The same way that I eat food, food feasts on my money. And it's funny because I know the workers know that I'm struggling because I'll walk into Chick-fil-A and be like, hey, let me get a number. Matter of fact, let me just get a large fry. And then they got the nerve to ask me, oh, that's it? And it don't make it no better when your friends ask you, oh, you want to come out to eat with us? When you know that you don't have the money to do it. But you know that you want food. Of course I'm gonna say yes. Food secures their bag better than I do. Thank you for your time. Let's have a conversation y'all aren't ready to hear yet. There is a huge difference between saying I love you and I like you. A lot of people in relationships like to rush to say I love you and then get mad when their partner doesn't want to say it back yet. But what they're not realizing is me saying I like you can be way more flattering than me saying I love you. Because I can love you and not like you. You know how many family members you have that you love but you don't like? Just because I love you doesn't mean I like to spend time with you. But if I say I like you, that means I actually like you and like spending time with you. So if anything, you should be more flattered that I'm actually telling you that I like you instead of just rushing to say I love you and not meaning it. Being able to say I love you to your partner takes time. We have to have gone through some things so that I know we have resilience in our relationship to last. So me saying I like you means we are on a good track to seeing if I actually love you. So with that being said, please stop being so pressed about saying I love you. Thank you for your time.